my preschool friends. I wanted to read you a spring book called A Perfect Day for Digging. In the spring, when trees unfreeze and grass grows green and pansies say, "Please plant me," Nell and Rusty can't wait to dig in dirt just right for digging. "Bye-bye snow shovel," says Nell. "Hello, trowel." That's a trowel that she's going to use to dig in the dirt. Crunch, crumble, push, shove. Victory! Nell sings when she and Rusty finally break through the crusty ground. "I love the smell of fresh spring dirt," Nell says. "Don't you, Rusty?" Rusty does. In fact, he loves the smell of fresh spring dirt so much that he tries to eat it. Then Nell has to remind him, "Dirt is for digging, Rusty, not eating." Does anyone else's dog like to eat dirt and dig in the dirt? Nell swirls the dirt around, making S's with her trowel. Oh, she's making some letters from the alphabet using her trowel in the dirt. She chop-chops the clumpy, lumpy dirt until it's silky smooth. Rusty makes dirt angels. Then he jumps up and shakes. "Hooray for getting dirty," shouts Nell. "Woof," barks Rusty. "I don't like getting dirty," says Norman, swinging his new yellow shoes back and forth. "Well, that's too bad," says Nell, "because it's a perfect day for digging, and I have an extra trowel." "No thanks," says Norman. "I'd rather watch." Nell crouches down low. Rusty crouches down low too. Nell digs like a chipmunk and scratches out a little bit of dirt at a time. Sometimes she's a badger, and a lot of dirt flies everywhere. And sometimes Nell closes her eyes and digs a tunnel like a mole. But Rusty always digs like a dog. He uses his front paws to make the hole deeper and his back paws to put the dirt back in. "Rusty," scolds Nell, laughing. Norman laughs too, because he's not the one getting all dirty. Nell shapes a round mountain out of the first pile of dirt. She decorates the mountain with pebbles and pieces of shells. Rusty leaps over and over Nell's mountain until his paws are the color of chocolate from all the mud. "Ew," says Norman, taking his clean hands out of his clean pockets of his clean jeans to keep the dirt away. Oh, the dog's trying to get Norman all dirty. Nell has so much fun digging that she begins to dig another hole. But Rusty has other ideas. Look, he grabbed the trowel in his mouth. "Come back here," calls Nell. "I'm going to catch you." Clomp, clomp, clomp goes Nell's digging boots in the swampy spring mud. "Hey, stop splashing," shouts Norman. "Oh, sorry," says Nell. "Good dog," she tells Rusty, because he's finally dropped the trowel. This time, when they dig, Nell and Rusty pretend they are giant steam shovels whirling, scooping, and dumping a ton of dirt next to each hole. And then, "Look what we found," says Nell. "A pretty striped marble, 3 acorns, a mini stegosaurus that I lost last summer, and One fat juicy worm. Oh, gross, says Norman, but he inches closer to watch the worm wiggle and to see what Nell decides to do with all the other treasures. We could put them in the dirt museum, Nell announces. Cool, says Norman. We'll build it with those stones you dug up. And I won't even have to get dirty. Nell makes sure to give the worm plenty of dirt to wiggle in. Rusty wants to bite the worm, but Nell says, worms are not for biting, Rusty. Mom says they make the garden better for growing things like potatoes and tomatoes. And flowers, says Norman. Look, Norman's starting to play with Nell and help out. And he's not getting dirty, and he's having a good time. Rusty thumps to the ground. He's tired. But Nell and now Norman want to see what else is buried in the garden. So Norman brings Rusty a bowl of fresh water. That does the trick. I still need your help, partner, Nell tells Rusty. When Nell and Rusty are digging their 5th hole, Nell discovers something. Hey, Norman, she calls. What's that gonna be? What did she discover? It's a tiny china arm from a doll. Wow, says Norman. He carefully brushes off the dirt with his clean hanky. I wonder who played with it and if there's more. There's only one way to find out, says Nell, but I'm all done, so... Look, she hands him a trowel and he shouts, victory! Could this be the tiny china leg that goes with the tiny china arm that you found? It is, says Nell. Good work, Norman. But guess what, Norman? Oh, what? Asks Norman. You're all dirty, says Nell. You're right, says Norman, looking down. But guess what? What? Asks Nell. I like to dig, says Norman. And from now on, these shoes can be my digging shoes. So that's great. He got his hands and his feet dirty. And you know what? He can go home and he can wash his hands and wash his clothes. And so can Nell. But what about the garden? Asks Nell. It's a mess. I know, says Norman. We can fill in the holes like this. Oh, he's pretending to be like the dog. And, says Nell, we can plant these pansies like this. Hooray for digging. You mean hooray for dirty digging, shouts Norman. When can we dig again? Oh, now he likes it. Woof, 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 woof. And look, here's a picture of their dirt museum that they made. The end. So, my friends, I challenge you to go dig in the dirt. You could help your parents plant some flowers, or you could just play in the dirt and the mud. And I also wanted to show you, look at this tiny bear. My kids dug this out of our old backyard when they were playing in the dirt. They love playing in the dirt and the mud. And then we just wash our hands and wash our clothes and go inside after. So have fun in this spring weather, and I miss everybody. Bye.